We're GVTV, grinding your way to the future with television originating from Grand Valley State University, where?
In beautiful uptown Allendale, Michigan. From the VW microbus, finally back from Hash Bash 96, you're in Grand Alley with Gregory Struss. I'm Daisy May from KLQ, inviting you to stay tuned because in the next 30 minutes, you'll hang out with me, with Tom Van Howe from News 8, and hear the music of the Roswell. And now, here's West Michigan's least known television celebrity, Gregory Struss.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. It's nice to see I was able to come out here and make my mark. John, you want to get a custodian in here to clean it up? I just wanted to make sure. Welcome to the show, everyone. It just seemed to die down. What, do we, like, get rid of the jumper cables or something? Keep everybody up? Anyway, I don't know if any of you have been following the news, but cereal manufacturers are slashing prices to increase sales. And this has created several crises in the cereal world. For starters, Tony the Tiger ate Toucan Sam. I don't know if you heard that one at all. Captain Crunch has been demoted to first mate. And rumor has it that Snap and Crackle aren't speaking with Pop. Being the genius that he is, Ted Nugent made a proposition that if things don't continue to go in a good flow, he's more than willing to whack the Trix rabbit. Madonna is reportedly pregnant. Anyone heard about that?
Yes.
Not even out of the womb yet. And the kid's already decked 5 photographers. John, did you hear that General Mills has been demoted?
Yes.
For court-martials? How many of you have been seeing gas prices? Gas prices are rising. The average cost of a gallon of regular unleaded gas has gone up as much as 15 cents per gallon. And to improve fuel economy, the people of Holland have come up with a solution. They're only going to drive downhill. You didn't mind that, Tom, did you? In Grand Rapids, the Amway Corporation has begun manufacturing a car that runs on soap. And if you get 3 of your friends to buy one, you'll get free tickets to the Griffins. Boy, those cereal prices. Tony the Tiger thinks it's great. Did you know that? Oh. Oh, did you see this? We have a new brand of cereal. Can we see this once? That's kind of bright. Anyway, it says West Michigan O's. They just lay there and stare at you. You want it? Speaking of gas, as if we have a choice, in Tokyo, a woman who was told to change her seat because someone else had the ticket sprayed a foul-smelling gas into a crowded theater, injuring 28 people. I don't know if we can hear a ooh for that. Like a ooh. Want to see my lining? It was reported that she was seen leaving Taco Bell earlier in the evening, and that kind of explains it. Did you know that the Cookie Crisp cops caught the Quaker Oats guy siphoning gas?
Hadn't heard that.
I thought maybe you might find that interesting, this ongoing cereal thing. Finally, in Intercourse, Pennsylvania. This is a real town. Something with the rhythm for some reason. More and more Amish women are raking in the bucks by selling wooden toys, dolls, quilts, and Eris's big disc. They've become so successful that more and more Amish families are getting 2-carriage garages. So it's just one of those wonderful things. May I please have this? We're going to rake in the applause. Can we rake in the applause tonight? We're going to rake in the applause. I feel like I'm civil service tonight or something, you know? Tonight on the Big Cable Cast. Now, this is exciting. Local icon, you see him at the 6 and 11 o'clock news. Tom Van Howe from News 8 is here. Doing the rake, huh? You want to rake it in? Okay. We also have the music of the Roswells. Go ahead. And you know her, you love her. She's heard on KLQ. When? What time are you usually on? You're in the evening. All the time.
Yeah.
Daisy May is here, and you are going to tell our viewers how they may write. Let's hear it for Daisy May, everyone.
Well, if you're ever looking for a reason to visit beautiful uptown Allendale, then seek no more. Join us as a member of our studio audience for a taping of West Michigan's first and only talk, television, entertainment, edutainment showgram. That's what it would be. For tickets or show ideas, write in care of Grand Alley with Gregory Struss, GVTV, School of Communications, 121 Lake Superior Hall, Grand Valley State University, Allendale, Michigan, 49401. Or you may contact us via email at strussg@river.it.gbsu.edu. Either way, we would love to bond with you. Now back to more of the Big Cable Cast with Gregory Struss.
How are you?
Hi.
How you doing? You know, this is really strange because I've been doing this a long time, and for some reason I just feel like I just worked up tonight. Have you ever had that?
Tense. Yes,
I just
have.
tense for some
Actually,
reason.
yeah.
I don't know if it's because I had too many cappuccinos before I came here or what. That probably doesn't usually help. But I just thought I'd share that with you.
Thank you.
I feel so much better now.
Well, good. Release. That's good.
What do you usually do for a release?
This is cable, right?
I get a call earlier in the week. Somebody wants to know about the liabilities on cable access.
Okay.
And I said, being on cable access is a liability in itself.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I
It's
understand.
all this work, you know? It's nice to be able to follow, like, John's World or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what some of the other shows are. So let's talk a little bit about what you do over there
Okay, let's.
at Eris's Big Disc.
Yes, yes. Eris. He's everywhere. It's hard to work with such a famous man because you're just kind of diminished in his shadow, but he's a wonderful person. Learned a lot from him.
Yeah, he's been out here before.
Yes. So everything I said was basically a lie. You know him, oh
He
God.
spoke so highly of you. I know. I want to mention something real quickly here for all of the folks that come into the studio here at Grand Valley State University here in beautiful uptown Allendale. We give away free comedy den passes. It's part of the enunciation too. Do you have a problem with that? Pieces, passes.
Well,
something
you
like
heard that ticket thing I read.
Yeah, lots of dots. So
Too
something
many
like that.
dots.
Now you're out here too, right? You go to school here?
Yes, I'm a student here.
And what are you
actually.
studying?
I'm studying broadcasting. Actually, my lifelong goal was to go into TV, but all my hopes and dreams are kind of shot down at this point. So.
Well, maybe you too can have a cable show, right?
I could only hope.
The king of cable, the queen of cable, right?
That's right.
Hey, Roseanne started somewhere too. But,
Well, you know,
we
maybe I
get
should just put on a couple 400 pounds and be right there with her.
Okay. All right. Let's introduce our next guest. He is our next guest in. I am just out of sync tonight. We've got to leave it in the kitchen
Would you like
or something.
me to help you with this?
Sure. In a never-ending world of change, our next guest continues to act as our buffer zone during times of local, national, and international crisis. From his late afternoons of hosting Live at 5 to becoming one of the premier news anchors on Grand Rapids television, he's established himself as someone whom we can depend on. And it's more than a thrill that he has taken some time in between newscasts to bond with us tonight. From News 8, please welcome Mr. Tom Van Howe. I wasn't stuttering and stammering. Welcome. How are you?
So how you doing, big guy?
I'm doing okay. It's been a while since I just was really nervous tonight for some reason. Everybody's saying, you know, I feel like I chomped on everybody's head today. You know what I mean?
Except you're doing very well. I was pretty impressed.
Aren't you really?
I am. I'm blown away by this.
You're blown away by it?
Yes, they didn't have this when I was when I was involved with the video. They didn't
Well,
have
how old
anything
are
like
you?
this. Well, I mean, like last semester they didn't have this.
Well, we've been out here for about a year or so. Now you've been working at News 8 since 1983. Is that correct? 83, 85. in that
Actually,
area?
86. I was
86?
in Kentucky until then.
And this was
Louisville.
Louisville. And you were a newsman down there?
Actually, yes.
Or is
I
it
mean,
PC to say a news personality?
No, I had my own program called Louisville Tonight, and it was a news magazine, entertainment, infotainment, all the things that we do today rolled into one. And it kind of broke some ground. We won every award there was to win, and then they decided it cost too much to produce, and it went off there. And so I went back in the news for a while, and then it was New York City or Grand Rapids.
And you came back to Grand Rapids?
Right.
Wow.
And you're kind of
And
like
amazing.
you're kind of like do you consider yourself like the local boy who made big? Because you originally were from this area, weren't you? Kind of, sort of.
But you know, when you do this kind of work, you don't ever think of yourself as making it big. I don't think. It's a job,
No,
like
right.
like any. These guys with the cameras and the person back there controlling sound, and what are you doing? She's, she's watching, and everybody has a job to do.
Right.
And this is mine, and it's something that I learned. I started at a little weekly paper in Massachusetts, and wrote for a number of papers, got into TV, kind of by accident, and you just kind of keep doing what you're doing because you like it. And then if a certain degree of success comes with that, so be it. But that was never the real goal. It's because I like to do what I do.
And it's not, it's, for most people that don't realize what goes into something, you kind of, you and Susie and Jerry and Craig and, oh gosh, this
Jack Gold, yeah. Craig and Jack.
There's 50 or so people under you, are there not?
Well, not under me.
A supporting cast.
Right. There's an incredible, in fact, if people could really see what goes on behind the scenes and what we go through in the course of a day to put on a newscast, I think they'd be amazed. Because so many things are going on, from the early news meetings where the reporters draw straws basically to see who does what and who's going to go do what story. And to going, the cameramen who have to ride all the equipment that has to be in order, hitting the street, getting the story, molding the story, trying to tell it well, and then you have the sound man in the control room, you have the tape player down at the tape room, you have all the satellite feeds that have to be brought in, you have to get all the live shots
And the
brought
hip bone
in.
is connected to the
And
knee bone.
Exactly. And all these things are going on, and unless everybody does their job well, the whole thing falls apart. And fortunately, we really have a great team of people.
Looks great. The newscast, I talked with someone in promotions a week ago or so, and I said, I don't know if you ever hear of any of the positive things, because a lot of times when you are out, and I asked you this, I said, what are some of the pressures with being on the screen five times a week? Actually, you're on 10 times a week, two times a day, right?
Right.
What happens when you go off the script, and all of a sudden you may have said something that really wasn't meant a certain way, but one of these radical groups calls you and says, you know,
Well, nothing happens. I mean, people,
I just got off on a tangent. Excuse me. That's all right.
If people take something wrong, that's too bad. But there are people who I think are looking for one of us to say something that will offend them, and there is a group. A woman wrote me a letter, and they've got a church group that actually says, just say no to Tom Van Howe. It's astonishing. I mean, you know, sir, I mean, I shouldn't say this, but you want to write back and say, get a life.
Yeah.
And what upset her so much?
Daniel was the one that was writing it. That's a problem.
Well, that reply is coming to you, Dan. It was a perfectly innocuous response, addition to a story. It was ad-libbed, but one of our reporters forgot to say something relatively important about someone this woman obviously hated. And I kind of mitigated it and said, but you should remember that this guy did pay all that money back. And this woman just went crazy with rage over that. And we get that from time to time, but I can't control that. My job is to present the news as fairly and as honestly as I possibly can. And sometimes when an eyebrow goes up and you don't even know it until you watch a tape, well, I can't control that because I'm unaware that I'm doing it. Sometimes we do ad-lib, and sometimes it comes off as a little caustic, and sometimes it comes off as a little perhaps flip and irreverent. And I probably could help that, but that's somehow a reaction
Isn't it kind of a way to keep things fresh? Because the Evening Stars, now this is by Barbara Machuso, I believe it is, and this is from 1983, and they were talking about how the, I'm sorry, I just did a no-no, put that thing down right away. And what they were basically talking about is how the anchor person, now we're talking more at the national level, how most of these people came from the reporting side, being out in the field, and then all of a sudden and you came from doing Live at 5, where it was a very loose format and where you kind of had something different every day.
Right.
All of a sudden you step into being the anchor 5 times a week and being inside, then maybe it's not as exciting. Do you
Well,
find
it
that?
isn't as exciting as going out and having to craft a story every single day and meeting new people and with a new situation and a new challenge to kind of choreograph the show for that day. And I mean, there are times we'd walk out of the editing van at 5 minutes to 5, and all of the people that were supposed to be on the show are gone. And you look at the photographer, he looks at you, and you say, I don't know what the hell we're going to do now. But you do a show.
But the funny thing was about Live at 5 is that here your daughter graduates, because all of you but your son are MSU. You all went to Michigan
My
State
wife,
University, right?
Me.
He said he was the black sheep of the family. But he said, no, he's at Eastern, right?
Yes, he is.
And you could not get the day off. So what you did is took Live at 5
Took the show,
and went to her graduation.
brought the mountain to Muhammad.
So you went out to Lansing?
We did the show from East Lansing and did a story about the challenges facing graduates of today, what the job market was like. We talked to a couple of job placement people. I interviewed a young lady who happened to be my daughter about
That's kind of clever.
about the challenges, the thing she was most worried about. And frankly, it was revealing because she talked to me in a whole different way. She talked to me as an interviewer instead of her dad. And it was kind of fun.
So you were able to be there? And
I was able to be there. I was there for the graduation. I heard him call her name, and we even got footage of it.
As I, we'll be back in a moment with the, what is the speech they always make? The valedictorian speech, right?
Well, probably. Yes. I was never too close to that, so I don't know. I don't know how they say that.
Well, we can't tell you how thrilled we were that you came out here, and we can't tell you how appreciative we were, because I know it's really difficult, because when you're all the way out there and you're all the way out here.
Trust me, it's a pleasure. For those who don't know, Greg and I met each other, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
4 years ago. You moved up here from Chicago.
Chicago.
Working to find a niche for yourself in this market. Looks like you're doing it.
I hope.
And,
We'll follow Wayne's World sometime.
yeah, well, but you're obviously doing very well. You've got a staff of incredibly devoted people, and you're all excited about it. You've got a nice audience here. You've got a band about ready to play. You have an incredibly attractive co-host for the day, and
The crew was saying so.
and I'm a fan of Paris Hampers as well.
We,
Oh, good.
Yeah, I am.
but hopefully sometime you'll be able to come out. We'll spend a little more time.
I'd love to. Thanks
Okay.
for having me now.
Thank you.
I'm honored that you
Thanks
called
a
me.
lot. Thanks for coming out. We'll be back in a moment with the Roswells. Stay with us. Thanks again. I know that's kind of tough when... Are we suffering from an earthquake here or what?
Hey, I don't know. I just learned about that in geology, though.
What'd you find out? Whose fault was it?
The premier sport aviation television show on 2 networks.
We played against Jerry Barnaby and beat him pretty handily.
Being great is something means powerful.
Oh, right here, right here.
Okay. You're laughing at me. That's okay.
Some television in Detroit. I've done some commercials. I
Got to reach in his $100 pocket and
Now that's... 100 years of the National Parent Teacher Association. We could give, this has spawned a new club which will be headed by none other than Ted Nugent, or the NRPTA. Instead of specializing in baked goods and fundraising, there'll be plenty of camouflage and gut pile. Let me tell you. Then 2/3 of Americans believe that television contributes to violence, erodes family values, and fosters a distrust of government. But enough about Ted Nugent's Spirit of the Wild. We just...
That television originates from Grand Valley State University in beautiful uptown Allendale, Michigan.
The audience will be taking a time out after the intermission here. Our next guests perform in various venues throughout West Michigan and have been given very considerable airtime on various... Do you want to read the intro for some reason? Anyway, they're here to perform a song. Their latest CD is out on the Flop Rooster Records. Please say hello to the Roswells, everyone. I have never...
Day. And their cocoons is where they'll stay. I was taken from my womb and ripped from my cocoon, forced to change. started with my soul and left the gaping hole, yet I could not comprehend rage. So I think I'm gonna stay out here. I think I'm gonna stay out here. I'm gonna stay out here, out in the rain. Let me live my own life. Let me make my own mistakes. Let me live my own life out in the rain. Let me live my own life. Let me make my own mistakes. Own mistakes. Let me live my own life out in the rain.
Okay. Nice job. How are you? Hello. How you doing? Hello. How are you? This man over here. Hi. Okay. How much time do we have? We have 1 minute here. All right. So tell us where you guys are going to be playing within the next month or so, and we can talk right here.
Next Friday?
Next Friday.
CMU, right?
CMU.
General Friday Festival.
General Friday. Now, what I found kind of, you got to come over here. This is a microphone. This is what we talk to.
All right.
Tell us about the CD.
The CD. Well, we recorded it at Station C Studios last November, last December, somewhere around there. When was it released? March?
Yeah, a month ago.
Month ago.
Yeah.
Okay, a month ago.
Tim Giverson engineered and produced
And
it.
it's been doing very well, too. Now, because you've been featured on GRD. Have you also been featured on KLQ?
Yep, local.
Eris is big hit.
Sampers, yes.
Okay. And I believe that Daisy May is going to be playing it later tonight. Isn't that right?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
Well, anyway, let's hear it for the Roswells, everyone. Tom? Daisy, thank you. Daisy May. You can hear Daisy May on WKLQ. It's 94.5.
Real Rock Revolution.
Real Rock
There you
Revolution,
go.
7 to midnight?
Usually 10 to 2.
10 to 2.
Yes,
Well, we
right.
were close.
We
Okay.
were close.
And Tavi and Howe, we can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming out.
My
Hope you
pleasure,
visit
Rick.
us again. You can catch Tom, Wood TV, News 8, First Best Live. How's that for some public relations?
That's very good.
This is Greg Struss. Thanks for being with us. We'll take it away with the Roswell. Are you playing out? You're playing out. Okay.